What you doing, Mikey?
Filming a TikTok, bro.
Filming a TikTok behind the scenes. Oh, look at that pose, that TikTok pose. Did you learn that from the TikTok thoughts, bro?
Actually, yeah, I did. That's what she said.
Oh,
Squat, push your butt out, you'll get views.
you need to do that in the videos. Leave a thumbs up if if Mikey should do that in the videos. Okay, you guys get behind the scenes of this. Whoa, this is so slow. Oh, look at that. Midnight Club dub edition.
That, no hands, bro. You see that? Hold us. So, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the videos. Mikey from JDM Icon here. It is a really cold day and it's kind of dangerous to drive on the road right now, not gonna lie, but that's not gonna stop us from filming a video for you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps out the channel grow and the algorithm, and it keeps us making more videos for you guys to watch. Alright, so if you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering if JDM cars are even still worth buying with the prices going so high as they are. Like 80,000 for a Mark IV Supra, 150,000 plus for an R34 GTR, 35 to 40,000 for a low mileage S2000, and 50 grand for an RX-7, which is honestly, it's absurd when you come to think about what the car actually is. Because for 150,000 you can buy a Ferrari, or you can buy an R34 GTR. It's honestly all the preference. But if you look at the car as what it is and what you're getting for what you pay for, you're not really getting much. If you think about it that way, then yeah, these cars aren't really worth it. But you need to remember that the JDM scene is growing bigger and bigger every year. When I first imported my first car, which was a 1996 Mitsubishi Evo 4, back when I was in high school, I want to say it's around like 7-8 years ago, I bought that car in high school for about 7,500, 8 grand. And that was pretty achievable for a high school kid with working his first job, saving like every paycheck. Over a year, I was able to save up enough money to buy that car. Nowadays, that car is worth over $20,000, which is absurd. I'm not saying the car isn't worth the money, but with these cars, you have to consider the law of supply and demand. The supply of these cars, whatever's left from the 90s, that's all that there is. Nissan isn't going to start making new R34s. Mitsubishi is going to start making Evo 6s again. Whatever models they made in the 90s, that's all that's left. If you think about it, with more and more people wanting these model cars, the prices are only going to go up. It's actually really simple when you come to think about it. When there's a high demand for an item and a low supply, the price goes up. But if there's a lot of supply and low demand, the price is really cheap. It's just that simple. You can apply that theory to almost any type of business out there, but this isn't a business video, this is a JDM car video. So let's not get too off topic. If you're kind of like me and you're the type of person that's willing to spend a large amount of money, an old Corolla like an AE86 car isn't really worth $30,000 US or even $10,000 US. But if you watch our last video about why JDM cars are so popular today, it'll all make sense to you why the price of that car is just so expensive. So before we get into the topic of whether you should buy these cars or not, I feel like you should ask yourself, what type of enthusiast are you? If you want to buy an FD RX-7 and you want to take it to the drift track and thrash the car and really push the limitations of the car, I would highly recommend not buying an FD unless you have a lot of money to spend on a drift car and you just want to drift an FD. To be completely honest, it's not really worth it. Like, I wouldn't spend 50 grand on a stock FD RX-7 just to ruin the whole car at the racetrack. In all honesty, I don't see the logic in that. But if you're the type of person that wants to experience different cars and wants to drive all these JDM icons, all these JDM legends and stuff like that, I kind of see your point if you're kind of the collector type to buy these cars. And let me explain. So let's just say you're in the market to buy a car, you have $30,000 to $40,000 to spend, and you've been looking at the new GR86. So as soon as you buy the car and you drive it off the lot, you automatically lose 20% of the overall value of the car. Once you hang on to the car for the next, let's just say 2 to 3 years, if you want to trade the car into the dealership, they'll give you about $25,000. So essentially, no matter what, when you buy a new car, you lose money. The nice thing about it is you have warranty and you have all this like features that a new car would come with. But if you're looking at it as a financial standpoint, it's not really the smartest thing to do, in my opinion. What I would do is I would buy a 15 to 20-year-old S15, drive it for around... Don't stay at my blind spot. So what I would do, I would buy an S15 Spec R instead, roughly around the same price. Now with the prices going higher and higher each year, you can enjoy the car, you can experience a car, a JDM car like that. Oh jeez. So you get to experience a true JDM legend like the S15 Spec R. Or if you want an S2000, you can get that too, whatever car that you want that's within your price range. If you're not going to thrash the car and overly modify it, then you'd have the opportunity to experience that car, and over the time that you hung on to that car and enjoyed it over the next 2-3 years, you could probably break even on the car, if not make some more money. Maybe sell for an extra 5,000 to 10,000 on top of that. It's honestly a really fun way to get into the car scene and experience so many different cars from Japan, because you get to work on them, you get to have fun in them and experience different Subarus, different Nissans, Evos, or whatever car your budget allows. And after the 2-3 years, you can end up either flipping the car, or maybe you actually found that perfect car for you that you want to hang on to forever. So that's one way of doing it. But if you're the type of person that wants to get an S15 or an FD or a Supra and race it at the racetrack and put tens of thousands of dollars into the engine bay, then you're probably not going to get that money back, especially in engine bay mods, because unfortunately, once you spend a shit ton of money on the engine, that money you're probably never going to see again. To be fair, I know a lot of you guys are probably like me and you can't stand driving a stock car. So if you are in the market to buy a car like this and modify your car at the same time, I would look towards mods that are interchangeable between other cars, like bucket seats, wheels, like a quick release setup. Probably don't take your quick release off while you're driving on the road. That's something that I would highly suggest you guys do, because those types of mods you can transfer onto your next build. And if not, if you want to change your wheel setup, and if you bought the right wheels, meaning the real wheels like Volk TE37, CE28s, Workmisers, those wheels will always hold its value, and basically you can find someone who would be willing to buy them. End up buying reps, then you're probably going to lose money on the reps. When you buy a used set of TE37s, you're most likely going to break even on the wheels as long as you don't damage or hurt them. So considering what you can do over the amount of time, if you keep doing this, maybe you start off on like a Subaru Legacy or a WRX or an STI, and then you can drive the car for a bit, sell it for a little bit more, and buy another car that allows in your slightly larger budget. Keep going up until maybe you reach the car that you want, like an NSX or like a Supra or something like that. As long as you play your cards right, it's definitely possible. Don't look at the market as it making a lot of these cars unattainable, but look at it on a positive note and realize that you can experience a lot of these cars and not actually lose a lot of money. As long as you play your cards right, hustle, work hard, I believe it's definitely possible for any of us to achieve the cars that you really want. So basically, some of this video, if you're the type of person to look at these cars as growing assets and investments, I highly recommend you guys save up for one of these. Unless you have a large amount of money and you want to buy an R34 GTR and track it. Still pretty cool, I still respect that. But me personally, I want to save these JDM cars because I know one day we're never gonna have as many R34s as we did 3-4 years ago. Every single year the price goes up because more and more people write off these cars, wreck these cars, and we're never gonna have more R34s or more Mark IV Supras or more NSXs from the 90s. Like, it's crazy to think that the R34 GTR is worth more money than the R35 GTR. Like, you would think because the R35 is a newer car, it has better everything, it's a faster car. On paper and everywhere else, the R35 is a better car. But why is the R34 worth more money than the R35? Law of supply and demand. That's all I can say. More people would rather have an R34 GTR than an R35. But yeah guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thanks you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it really does help out with the algorithm and everything. Or maybe you disagree with me in this video. Leave a comment down below, because I would really like to hear your guys' opinions on the whole situation. Do you think an R34 is worth 150,000? Do you think a Mark IV is worth about 80 to 100,000? Anyways, thanks you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.